How we doing, everyone? How's it going? Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out. This is our first live taping of our podcast, Chirping Zebras, and we have an awesome comedy show to follow, and we have some great guests for tonight. So, my name's Mark Riley, and I'll be hosting the comedy show, and I'm one of the zebras on Chirping Zebras. And I would like to bring out my co-host. He refereed college hockey, pro hockey, should be in the NHL like me, but he got screwed too. And one of my best friends in the business, Gino Binder Jr., everyone.
Thanks, Riles. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
All right. So, this is our first live taping, and we are coming to you. I got to remember I'm talking to everyone. We're coming to you from Wicked Funny Comedy Club, located right here in the China Blossom in North Andover. And usually we tape at AOA Studios in Beverly. The AOA Studio guys are here. Give them a round of applause. We have Cam and Mike and Lewis. Also here is our producer, Josh Dolan from The Pike. So he'll be coming up and doing some stuff as well. And we want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease. And it's kind of cool because the owner of the Referee's Crease is actually here tonight. He was a guest on episode 4, Mr. Gene Binder Sr., right back there.
No tie tonight, guys. Just a nice college shirt.
Yes. No tie. He was had the tie on. Best dressed guest ever on the Zebras. If you saw episode 4. If you didn't see any episodes, they're on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and anywhere you find a podcast. And as always, like and subscribe. We're also live on the TikTok, and we have all the social medias, so we'd love a follow on that as well. All right. We are going to, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves if you need to. We've never done this, so I don't know how this is going to work. And we also want to thank the Bruins gnome that showed up tonight. This is fantastic. It's our friend Makes Gnomes. We'll show that gnome. You can hold it up if you want. Let's see that gnome. This is a special Bruins gnome, and she makes gnome. She's gonna make a zebra gnome, Gino.
Oh,
We're
let's
getting a
do
zebra
it.
gnome. Look at that thing with a bear.
That is
that
awesome.
That thing is fantastic. So if you need a gnome, you know where to go. All right. And also, I don't know if you know this. Everyone knows about. I was told this one time at Giggles Comedy Club. Doing a show, and my second favorite club, Wicked Funny Comedy Club, is my favorite, and that's true. I don't say that because I'm sitting on the stage. But a woman told me, you've heard of the Upside Down Pineapple?
I have.
All right. If you don't know about the Upside Down Pineapple, that means you live in a special neighborhood. All right. I found out that gnomes also are a sign that you're into that kind of thing. That's what someone told me. Yes.
All right.
So I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if that was a confirmation.
I don't know. I think if you have a gnome in your front lawn, you're into really sick shit. You know what I mean? Like you want midgets and stuff to show up. I don't know. And I can say midget because we still call kids midgets in hockey. So it's perfectly fine. And if there's one here, I'm not concerned. I'm pretty sure I can kick their ass and or outrun them in sand. All right. So we're going to bring up our first guest tonight, our main guest. This guy is a legend here in Boston as far as comedy is concerned. He played for the Boston Bruins back from 1986 to 1990 and played out in San Jose and came back to the Bruins. He won the 7th Player Award for the Boston Bruins in, I believe, 1990. And he's a favorite of Wicked Funny Comedy Club and a favorite of the Zebras. Please give it up for Mr. John Carter, everyone.
All
John
right.
Carter.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Sit down. All right. So we got to. I want to start out with this story because I heard a story one time from a certain someone, Ray Bork, and I'm name dropping.
We're starting off with this.
Yeah, and in which you happen to be involved with theft in Toronto.
That is a true story.
You stole the Zamboni out of the old Maple Leaf Garden.
I didn't steal nothing, Your Honor. I acquired it.
Acquired it, right.
the old historic Maple Leaf Garden.
Yep.
It was like 2 in the morning. We were hanging out in the locker room. Me, Lyndon Byers, Craig Janney. And the keys were in the Zamboni. We're walking out Andy Breckley, who's on Nesson,
Yeah,
who you know. And Brickle attested this story. And we're walking out the keys. And I never drove one of those. I want to take a spin. Brick's like, jump in. So I jump in the Zamboni. I started up, never driven one. I tried to go onto the ice with it. Bricks opened the doors up to go on the ice. I hit the plastic, the old historic, hit the plastic, ripped the plastic right off the boards. Brick says, you know what? You suck at this, right? So he goes to open the garage door, so I'm heading out of the parking lot. I finally get it. Now I don't know how to raise the back, and sparks are flying from the metal. All of a sudden, boo, 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 boo.
5-0.
Did you get arrested? Or did you
not
flash
get
the
arrested.
Bruins card?
It was the security before I hit the street, because I was heading out to the street. It was in the parking lot. Security says, get in the cab and go home. Get in the cab and go back to the hotel. And so the next day we're playing in Pittsburgh. We got a pregame skate. And Mike Milbury comes in and goes, I don't know if any of you guys heard, one of our prized pupils tried to take his Zamboni for the ride. The NHL security called me. Cardi is suspended for 2 games.
You got suspended for 2 games?
No kidding.
2 games.
With or without pay?
Without pay. Back then it was $100 a game. Back then.
Oh, there you go.
Now, I do want to talk to you about that, but we'll talk about that after. Did the Zamboni get left in the parking lot?
I left it there. Yes. Yes.
Wouldn't it have been great to see the Zamboni driver's face when he pulled up the next morning
And it
been
wasn't
like,
there?
holy fuck, where'd this come from? Oh, that is delicious. And the fact that you just wanted to drive it.
That was it. It was 2 in the morning. We had a couple cocktails.
Really?
Cocktails. Yeah.
Shocking.
And a little
Shocking.
encouragement, too, right? It didn't take...
Liquid encouragement, yeah?
Oh, Ray Bork's favorite story. He's like, that's a classic.
Oh, wow. Now, luckily or unluckily, there weren't cell phones back then. Because that would go viral. I mean, that would be bigger than that girl spitting on people. I mean, come on, right?
I would have been in jail.
You would have been in jail. Now, you brought up $100 a game. Back then, you guys did not get paid that much. And nowadays, there's guys that couldn't hold your stick or other players' sticks. That sounded wrong. Couldn't wear your gloves.
Yeah, right.
I did not mean that to come out that way. That are making way more. And what do guys like you think about that?
The thing is, we had fun because what we did off the ice, they didn't care about. Now they're an investment, but my God, I played in the 80s. I played for the Bruins, grew up a poor kid from Woburn, played for the Bruins. Part owner of a bar, lived with Lyndon Byers. Do the math. I had fun. It was worth the money.
Never missed a party.
I'm surprised you only stole one Zamboni. Jesus. Now, you bring up, you were kind of an anomaly because you played Woburn High School, public high school. I know St. John's really wanted you, but you decided to stay at Woburn. And then you told me only 2 colleges recruited you, which is absolutely insane to me. And we have a trivia question we'll bring up in a second. But you lived the dream of every kid who's ever laced skates up in the Boston area, including Gino and myself. We all dream of playing for the Boston Bruins, right? You got to live that dream. What was that like?
It was unbelievable. It was, and like I say, grew up undrafted, wasn't drafted. My senior year in high school, I had 52 goals in 20 games. I saw all my buddies being drafted. I was not drafted. I'm like, all right, that's... Back then, they wanted me 6 feet, 200 pounds.
Yep.
I was like 5'9", 155 pounds.
Okay.
Tough
You
as
know.
nails, though.
What's that?
Tough as nails.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you end up going to RPI.
So I wound up going to RPI Northeastern. I'd never heard of RPI. I'm like, what is that? What is that? Never heard of it.
Could
right?
you even spell Rensselaer back then?
So Mark, here's the funny part. So I went to the number 2 engineering school in the country, all right? I wish they'd opened a book there. But we won a national championship,
That's right.
and, you know, I had 117 goals in college with a great sentiment Adam Oates.
Wow.
You know?
Big Mike Odessa, right?
Mike
Yep,
Odessa,
God
yeah.
rest his soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He was coaching there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, he was.
Now, so you majored in hockey.
Pretty much.
Pretty
yes,
much.
That's
All right.
it. Yeah.
A lot of us did that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Gino went to Salve. I
Salve
went to
Regina,
Curry.
yeah.
Oh, you were,
So-
Oh, yeah.
you were a good cook then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good
no,
cook,
that's
right?
Johnson and Wheels.
Oh, Johnson
Yeah,
was.
Salve's in Newport.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
7-1.
Gino, he majored in major penalties, actually.
I still got the penalty record at Salve.
Yes.
Yeah, and I knew all the referees. The thing with me was 2 was play on and 5 was 2.
Yeah. And never a 10-minute misconduct.
Oh, I got
Right?
plenty of those. I had 4 my freshman year, and other referees, the Rhode Island guys didn't like me too much.
All right, well, and then you became a ref, which is hilarious. Leading penalty minute getter. You actually spilled out the first trivia question, which was how many goals do you scored in your senior year? And 52. But we have another. So here's a trivia question, and you get a T-shirt or a hoodie of your choice. And we do have lovely merchandise over there that is for sale tonight. And so you mentioned one of your line mates at RPI was Adam Oates, and also played for the Bruins. Actually, the leading lacrosse goal scorer in Canada to come out of Canada. He was a better lacrosse player than a hockey player.
Absolutely. He's in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame up there. He is unbelievable. He holds all the records up there for Adam Oates. Unbelievable athlete.
Yeah, my favorite Adam Oates memory, you might remember this one. I don't know what game it was, but he scored off the face-off.
I remember that.
Right.
Oh, I was at that game.
Were you really?
I was at that game, right? My father worked at the Boston
Yeah.
Globe. No shit. We got in the car. We went to the Globe. In the headline, the picture was already printed by the time we got to the Globe. Like, you went underneath where all the paper's flying out. It wasn't even, like, ready to ink yet. And we saw it. It was the coolest thing. Noah Welch, who played in the NHL, was with me. He took us to the Globe to see that. We were at that game. It was unbelievable.
That was
That's
right
really
off the
cool.
face-off, yeah.
That's
I remember
right
that.
off the face-off.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
people remember that?
You remember that, Dad?
game with that
All
goal?
right. You remember that?
Yeah, right off the face-off.
Even in
It
here?
was insane. Now, so the trivia question is, so John Carter, Adam Oates, who was the third line mate at RPI with the two of them?
Do not look this up on your phone.
Yeah, no phones.
Someone already
no
did.
phones.
Did you
no
look it
phones. Do you know?
up? Go ahead.
No,
good
no.
guess, though. Great guess.
Great
He
guess.
played-
Good
Great
guess.
guess.
Good
Joey
guess.
Juno did play for RPI.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a great guess.
But no, that's not who it was. Well, no, that's okay. And the other, Juno was a center, so Adam Oates, he wouldn't have been. I think Adam Oates was a little bit better. Anyone? I thought for sure someone. The Gnome. Does the Gnome know? I'm kidding.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
Mark.
that is
That's
a tough one.
That's a tough
That's a
one.
very tough one. I thought maybe our buddy Jacques Lambert is here, who has a podcast that I just went on, Carnival Personnel Podcast. I thought for sure he'd have it. I really did. If he's still here, yeah, he's back there. All right, why don't you tell us who it was? No one's gonna get this one.
Mark Juris.
Mark Juris. Mark Juris. Who
Great
went on
player.
to play. He was in the NHL, right?
He played in the NHL for a little bit, went to Europe, was better in Europe. His son's playing in the NHL now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Who did,
Carolina, I think, Juris.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that was that trivia didn't work.
So-
that's all right though.
You should have asked who wore number 8 before Cam Neely.
Oh, there's a good one. Who wore number 8 before Cam Neely? Who knows that?
You're gonna love this.
Ken Hodge?
Nope.
Nope.
Number 10. Right?
Yes, number 10.
No.
Anyone know who wore number 8? Well, that's your wife. She must know.
I wore it for 3 games.
John Carter wore it for
3
3
games.
games.
So I signed out of college. I played the last 3 games of the season, wore number 8. So I was in the middle of the exam. The Bruins called me like, yeah, you played. My agent showed up at the door. Says, yeah, you're playing against Montreal tonight. I was in the middle of the exam. I hadn't skated for a month. I'm like, are you kidding me? I wore it for 3 games. They signed Cam that summer, and he wore 8 and COVID seniority. He got it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Your wife gets a T-shirt. She was gonna get one anyway, but that's all right. That's a really cool. I didn't really. Now, did you wear number 8 at RPI?
No, I wore 15 at RPI.
Okay.
That was my number in college, yeah.
Our senior year ended. A month off, and you know when the season ends, you drink and party.
Yep.
A month goes by. My college coach knocked on my professor's door. I'm in the middle of the exam. He goes, yeah, I need to talk to John. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, your agent called. You just signing with the Bruins. You're playing for the Bruins tonight. I'm like, what? I go,
That's
where?
awesome.
I go, where? He goes, well, in Boston against Montreal. Wow. That was my first game.
That's insane.
My hairs are standing up right now.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Imagine that, taking it like you're studying for an exam in college, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you got to get to the Garden.
Yeah,
you're skating against the Montreal Canadiens."
Now, did you have any like inkling that you were gonna get a call or anything like that, or were you just like heading into like a camp this like going into the summer, or just
zero?
You just got the call and
zero. I thought I'd go through the summer, sign, start training camp. No, month off.
no
Play for the Bruins.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you weren't drafted either. Like, so you only recruited by 2 colleges, and then you weren't drafted, which blows my mind. And then you get hooked on with the Bruins.
True story. Yeah.
That's like mind blowing, because when I watched you play, right? Because that was when I graduated high school in '87. So those teams were like they were it, man. And I would never have guessed that you weren't drafted and you weren't recruited by every D1 school.
Undrafted, like I say, 52 goals my senior year, my draft year. I seen guys getting drafted, but back then, like I said, they want you 6 feet, 200 pounds. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's when I went to Curry, I was 135 pounds my freshman year. So I can feel your pain there. And
what do you got to $150 now?
No. I got up to $190, and that was all natural by senior year. I'll just say that.
So John, you spent some time in the minors in the American Hockey League. So I worked there for 9 seasons, and I made some like relationships and people off ice. And I got a call from a guy that used to work in the operating room out in Worcester. And floater. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Kevin. Yes, Kevin. Yes.
You know Kevin.
Oh, I know Kevin very well.
Kevin's
Good friend of mine. Kevin's the best.
Awesome.
So he'll call me during the winter, bust my balls about the Celtics. How many spots are you saving today? So
Kevin's awesome. I know Kevin.
He would always come in and give us the game tapes afterwards. So he called me and goes, "Hey, I got a little tidbit for you about John Carter." He goes, "John Carter was the only Worcester Ice Cat to score 5 goals in 1 game."
That is a true story. Yes.
Yes, it is. And it just recently happened. A Worcester Raider in the East Coast League just scored 5 goals in 1 game, and he remembered that, and he went up to the coach and said, the last person to do that was John Carter.
Oh, my God. That was 1994.
How about that?
94.
And that was with one
5
eye.
goals in
that
1
was
game.
with one eye. That's after I lost my eye.
No kidding. Yeah. So Floater says hello.
So, speaking of the eye,
The best.
can you tell
We're going to start with the eye jokes now?
No.
The comedy show's after this.
No eye jokes, I promise you. How did it happen? I'm just wondering, because that story kind of, unless you're uncomfortable telling it.
I'm very uncomfortable because I'm a very shy guy.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a very shy guy.
Just tell the fucking story.
All right. So after I left San Jose, I came back to Boston. They missed me so much. So training camp, they break it up into team, black and gold, and Steve Leach, who is from Lexington, who I've known since we're kids, fell over backwards, took the stick in the eye, and it was not good. So Don Del Negro, the trainer that just retired, that was his rookie year. That's the first thing he experienced when he retired. So I kept in touch with him. He's like, John, in all my years, that's the worst injury I had to deal with.
Well, I would think.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
So that story where it's all fun and games, you lose an eye, that is a true story. That is a true story.
You're the living embodiment of that saying, of that idiom right there. Well, our producer, Josh Dolan, happens to have a funny story, and it has to do with you. And actually, well, you're
come
on
up.
Josh, come on up. This is our producer, Josh Dolan.
What did I do?
So me and Riley were on a team called the Boston Comedy All-Stars, a hockey team, and we played the Bruins alumni. And afterwards, I still drank then.
So did I.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
And we all went out to a bar. I think it was the White Horse Tavern, the Black Horse Tavern, something in Winchester or somewhere.
Oh, Black Horse Tavern.
Yeah,
My buddy
yeah.
owns it, yes.
So we all went there, and you were telling me, you were like, I always wish I could have tried comedy, and I was like, well, I wish I always played for the Bruins. And you were like, you know what, playing in the NHL gets you, and you scooped your eye out and dropped it in my beer.
Yeah, I should have chose comedy. You don't lose eyes in comedy.
Let's hope not.
I don't think.
So you got a free beer. It was,
I was just going to
I
ask,
remember that
did you drink it?
conversation, Josh.
that?
Did you drink the beer or did you give it to him?
no, I gave it to him.
That's how he gets his
It
free
works
beers.
all
Right?
the time.
But now I'm sober and I have anger in me. I'll pop the eye right in my mouth
good.
now. So.
I would have just taken it and ran out the door. That's awesome. Thanks, Josh. That's an awesome story.
Josh, I
right
do
there.
remember that story.
That is awesome. Now, back in the day, so obviously we're Chirping Zebras and we have a referee angle. Back in the day when you played, there were some huge personalities as refs. You had Paul Stewart, who was on episode 2. You had Kerry Frazier. You had my favorite, Andy Van Hellemond.
McCreary.
Don
Kevin
Van Madsen.
Kevin Collins.
Kevin Collins on the
Kevin,
left.
yep.
Who was your favorite ref that because we always talk about back then, when they came in the building, everyone knew what you were getting. Whether you liked it or not, you knew what Paul Stewart was coming with. You knew what AVH was coming with. You knew what McCreary. So who was your favorite ref to have on your games?
Probably Kevin Collins. Like,
Legend.
Stewie would come on. So Paul Stewart,
Yes.
who you guys had on, who I know
Yep.
Stewie extremely
Episode
well.
2. Yep.
Every time he come out, and I had a reputation for embellishing. So
A little bit.
Is that why it's in the
So-
book now?
Yeah. He's the reason that rule exists.
true story. So every time Stewie come out, he'd skate on and says, "Hey Carter, this is frozen. It's not a lake. Don't be doing this shit." Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That
Every
sounds like
time.
Paul. That
It
sounds
was
like Paul.
Stewie.
I think that's where I get it. I used to always come out and warm ups. I always used to talk to some guys, like, some guys usually taking a penalty. I'm like, hey, how many are you getting tonight? How are your frequent
Yeah.
flyer miles? Yeah.
Well, that's what as a ref, that's what you do. You identify usually the problem child,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And in the game, and you go over and you talk to him, and so you get in his ear so that he knows, okay, he's watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frazier was awesome. Kevin Collins was awesome.
Yeah.
Those guys are great.
Now Frazier blows my mind because he was 5 nothing, but had the presence of a complete giant. Like he just commanded the ice with his hair and his whistle. Like he was just amazing to
Yeah,
me.
he was awesome. He was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, even in a fight as small as he was, he'd come over and break it up, and he was great. He was great.
He was one of the best skaters probably in the National Hockey League. Like he could fly, and he had like the record for that 3-minute drill forever.
He was unbelievable. You're right. He could skate better than Lyndon Byes and Jay Miller for sure.
Well, back then everybody was hooking and holding. You could keep up with the base. Now
Right.
it's run and gun.
Yeah, no, now what's funny is I think he skated so fast because the hair put him right through.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It broke the wind, and that got, I don't know. I'm making that up.
No, but he did use like 2 cans of hairspray every game, though. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
No joke. He would spray it the whole 9.
Yeah.
We'll get him on to tell the story
That-
someday.
It
Yeah.
did not move.
Never
when he
moved. Oh,
skated.
never moved.
Never moved.
He used more hairspray than I did back in the day.
I don't think I could get in the locker room with someone that used that much hairspray. Like, I couldn't breathe. It'd drive me nuts.
He had to go out. He had to go out to the parking lot or something. Right? We'll
Give
have
him
to
his own
ask him.
room.
We got to get him on.
All right.
So, but all right. So, Andy Van Hellemond was my boss in the East Coast League for the
Okay.
5 years I was there, and he was amazing. Like he just had a way about him for communicating and stuff. So I always like to hear players who had him as a ref, what their experience was with him, because he was just 19 Stanley Cups, and he's somewhere in a bunker. If I find him, he's coming on, but I can't seem to locate him. Maybe I should send out an army of gnomes, and maybe they can find him. I don't know, but yeah. So I always.
Is he the one that Taz had the problem with?
Yes.
Yes.
Eat a donut, you fat pig.
No,
that's
that was
Koharski.
Don Koharski.
That's Koharski.
That was Koharski.
Sorry.
We'll get him on to tell that story, too.
That was with Jim Schoenfeld.
Yeah.
When he bumped, I didn't bump you.
Yeah.
Go have another
Right,
donut,
right,
you
right,
fat
right.
pig. Terry was the one that punched Van Hellemond. Van Hellemond grabbed him by the back of the shirt, and Terry just turned and swung and hit him. And the coolest thing is, So I heard that story from Andy because traveling with him in the car. And then when I met Terry with the alumni stuff, he told the story too. And it was amazing to hear the story from both sides of it. And Terry says that Andy's the reason why he still was able to play in the NHL. Because Andy went to New York to the hearing, and they were going to boot Terry out for good. And Andy said, nope, my fault. I grabbed him during a fight from behind. I would have punched me too. And that kept Terry O'Reilly in the NHL.
They teach that in level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, never grab someone in a fight from behind. Never.
Taz was my coach when he coached us. We were afraid of him when he was coaching us. Like, honestly, we were afraid of him.
He's such a great guy,
The greatest guy. The greatest guy.
We want to get him on eventually, too.
Oh, he's the best.
So when we played the Comedy All-Stars, we played, the first game we played was up at Exeter. And Terry is in front of the net, and I'm, trying to battle him. And he put his hand to my head and just pushed my head down. His hand was gigantic. Like, I can only imagine getting punched by that mitt. You know what I mean?
No way.
Unbelievable. It's the size of this microphone behind you. It's huge. And he just went, boop, and put me down.
The toughest Bruin of all time.
Unbelievable.
And the nicest guy off the ice. People that don't know him that saw how tough he was. The nicest guy ever.
Oh, yeah. He's so great to just even be around, the stories he tells and everything. Yeah. Just amazing. Just amazing.
The best.
Now, as far as your hockey career goes, what was probably the highlight that, now obviously you won the 7th player. That was big. As a kid playing high school hockey, and you win the 7th player award, undrafted, cut the shit, right? I mean, that's huge.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, what kind of car did you win?
So I won the Dodge Daytona. Ray Bork, when he wore the following year, they gave him a Ford Explorer. That wasn't a little rigged, was it?
That's shaky right there.
So my line is, so they give you the car the following year. I was in San Jose, so they give you the car one year. Next year, they give you the gas, get the hell out of town. Randy Burridge won it twice.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
He won it twice. He blew his knee out the following year. The second time he won it, they shipped him off to Buffalo. So that award was the kiss of death. Except for Ray Bork.
Except for Ray. Yeah, well.
It's Ray.
It's Ray. It's Ray. I mean, second best defenseman ever to play for the Bruins, right? You know?
Second best?
Yeah. Bobby Orr. Wait a minute. I touched a nerve here.
Hey, listen to me. The reason I played hockey was because of Bobby Orr.
I know.
Kidding.
I know you were kidding.
Yeah.
What's funny is, I think I told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I did a show for Mike Eruzione, who we'll have on. One of the best, right?
Ruzi's the best.
And every time he calls me, whoever I'm with, I go, Mike Eruzione, Olympic hero calling. I know, little things. But I did a show for him over in Revere for his foundation, his big fundraiser. This was a year ago, August or September. Mario Lemieux is there. Mario Lemieux, right? So I do a thing saying I hate Canada, and everyone looks over because Mario's there, and it's Mario Lemieux. And I go, yeah, I know, Mario's here. I go, Mario, what were you, the 3rd best player ever? and everyone
how'd that go over?
I go, well, look, Bobby Orr, I mean, come on. I'm
Wayne
a Boston
Gretzky.
Kid. I go, and that Gretzky guy did a few things. I go, then that's not bad. And everyone, and I go, listen, you're still a pretty big guy. You probably kicked my ass, so for tonight, you're number 1. So everyone laughs. So later on the show, I ask him, I go, Mario, how much was Sticks? How much did sticks cost when you were a kid? And he goes, I've never paid for a stick like that. And I go, fuck you, you're back to number 3. And luckily he found it funny. Because if he didn't, I would have got my ass kicked. Honestly, he looks like he could jump back in.
God.
He looks like he could jump back in.
Here's a guy that had cancer, had Hodgkin's, missed the whole season, came back the following year, led the league in scoring. That's unbelievable.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
I mean, that's gets you the 3rd best player ever, I guess.
3rd best.
I know. I'm such a dick. Now, you mentioned Mario, and you played for the Team USA. in the World Cup.
In the World Championships. In Moscow, Russia, yes.
Moscow. Now, what was that like, representing your country?
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So we were over there in '86. We were there when Chernobyl went off.
Holy shit. Really?
Guys came back and get tested and stuff, and I didn't, and that might explain a lot, you know?
But maybe it wasn't the stick that took the eye out.
But we were there when Chernobyl went off. No idea. So we were there. We had KGB following us. It's '86. Like, we couldn't go anywhere without somebody following us and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. We were there for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah.
Now, Lemieux played for Canada at the time, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Him and Gretzky were on that team.
Lemieux, Potvin, I'm skidding around. Like, we don't stand a chance against these guys.
And Russia was okay.
What's that?
Right?
Yeah.
Now, was that before Fedorov defected, or was that after? When did he defect? That's story is great.
Question.
The Russian Five. That is a great movie.
That is great.
A great movie. I'm not sure when Fedorov defected. Anyone know? Way before. All right. So he
was gone. Yeah.
He stayed at home. Yeah. All right. I wasn't sure.
We're showing our age.
Yeah. Well, my memory is gone. I mean, back in the day when we got concussions, no one gave a shit. You know, let's be honest.
Tell me about it.
Write some dirt on it.
Speaking of Michael Ruzin, my brain's going to be you when I die for the CTE shit.
Yeah.
You know what? I think mine might go with it. I remember back in the day, I don't know if when you were a kid, when you got your bell rung, right? What my father would do is wake me up every hour on the hour to see if I was still awake, and come to find out, worst thing you can do for a head injury. And he'd be like, hey, you awake? And I'd be like, yeah. He's like, go back to sleep. All freaking night.
Yeah,
all night. And then the next day I'd be in school, handing in my homework. Now you get like 2 weeks off, and you get to sleep in a dark room for like a week.
Then you got a backhand when you're getting home because you didn't do your homework.
Well, you didn't do your homework.
No.
That's awesome. Now, so representing your country must have been pretty cool. And who was on that team with you?
Oh, my God. Brett Hull.
That's right. Brett Hull was on that team.
Peter McNabb, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Peter McNabb was on there. Tom Barrasso.
That's right.
My God.
Was I'm drawing a blank on who would have been on that team. We both just talked about concussions, and now we're trying to remember shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
No.
That was
I'm no good.
Lindros. Lindros played for Canada.
Canada.
Right? He was Canada.
Oh, was here.
And what? Coffey? Did he play for that team? Was he? He was American, right?
No.
No?
Paul Coffey.
Who am I thinking of?
Phil Housley?
Phil Housley.
Phil
Housley.
That was
Awesome, D.
So a lot of cool.
Aaron
cool
Broughton, Neil Broughton. The
Okay.
Broughton brothers
Yeah, yep.
played, yeah.
All right.
What about the Hunter twins?
Dale?
Yeah.
No.
They were
No.
gone-
Aren't they Canadian?
Oh, they might be.
I don't know.
They're Canadian, I think.
I don't like them.
Well, maybe the Hatches.
I hope he's Canadian.
I don't like him either. So now let's fast forward to right now. The Bruins, we got knocked out again. They got knocked out again. How funny is it? Us Boston fans are always like, we did this, we did that. We didn't do shit. I did as much for the Bruins this year as that fucking gnome. Let's be honest. Now, but they got knocked out.
Poor
they
gnome.
made some good signings.
They did.
What do you think of what Don Sweeney, who you played with, right? You didn't play with Sweeney?
I wore number 32
you
at
played
the
with him.
Terrier.
Yeah, you
Good
played
friend
with
of
Don
mine.
Sweeney.
Good friend of mine.
What do you think of the moves that he made?
Good. We need a good centerman.
Yeah, I love that. I love
love
that
the
signing.
move.
Elias Lindholm is a huge signing. Huge.
He's going to go to BC, I think, for a year or two.
Elias Lindholm, not the kid.
Oh, the draft pick.
The draft pick.
Yes, the draft pick's going to be a
fantastic.
BC. He's going to be
Yes.
good, I think, yeah.
The draft pick is fantastic.
Lindholm is a good sign.
Lindholm is a great signing. And that kid that's going to BC
They're
is a center.
drafted
Well,
6'7".
yeah,
they say
he's
he's going to be
huge.
the next Tage Thompson,
Right,
who's a
right.
stud for Buffalo.
Yep.
So, but he's going to go to BC for a year or two.
Okay.
So.
Probably a year. Right?
What's that?
Everyone goes to BC for a year and
Yeah,
then
right.
leaves.
Yeah, they leave.
They'd win all the national titles over the
They're
years.
gonna be
but
loaded again.
Craig Janney, all of them went there.
Yeah.
Leach went there, I think.
Yeah. Craig-
Elias Lindholm, I think, is a huge signing because we need a number one center.
Right.
He's cut from the cloth of Bergeron and Kopitar,
Right.
Taves,
Yeah.
Barkov. He's that kind of 200-foot center that can put the puck in the net.
Right.
Huge signing. And I love
Zadorov.
Zadorov.
They need a tough-nosed defenseman just to hammer people. Make the wingers scared. Make the center scared from going to the corners, going to the net, whatever.
Yep.
Wear them down.
The last 2 years, Florida out-toughed us.
Yes.
They're tougher than
Big
us.
time.
Yes.
They got to get tougher.
Yep.
They got to get tougher.
Well, I think Zadorov, I mean, he's just a big corn-fed mule, right? And just built for the playoffs. And that's when I love Matt Grzelcyk. I love him. Local kid, great story. But when the playoffs come, he's too small, right? And can skate like the wind. Personally, I think we should get rid of the other Lindholm. I'm not a big fan. I think he's a typical European player in the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's just my take.
Yeah.
People might disagree with me, but I'm not a fan.
They got to get tougher.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
They do. So everyone's like role modeling Florida now. They're just tough. They're tough.
Nasty.
Yeah, they're tough.
I'll be honest. So I wanted the Oilers to win because I think McJesus should be on the cup. I mean,
100%. I was rooting for Edmonton, too. Yeah.
But Florida, you're right, is built to win the cup. And there's only one Florida Panther I would not want to see on the Bruins. Every other player I'll take on the Bruins except for one.
Don't say Kachuk.
No.
I would love to have him.
I love Kachuk. Him, Barkov. I mean, everyone on that
Who
team
is
except
it?
for one.
Who is it?
Anyone want to guess?
I know who it is.
Who is it? Anyone want to guess?
Bennett?
Yes.
Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett. Yes, 100%.
He is a complete scumbag. I mean, cut from the cloth of Matt Cook, Ophi Samuelson, Claude Lemieux. I mean, he's just a puke. I just don't like him at all.
No, in his defense, every other team in the league feels the same way about Brad Marchand.
True.
Agreed.
True. But he's a Bruin, so fuck everyone.
Marchand started a brawl in one of my American League games, my first time ever in Providence.
That's right.
He zips by the bench, he melts off, someone jumps over the boards, cross-checks him in the mouth. They had a 7-on-7. It was awesome. It's on YouTube.
Bertuzzi?
Bertuzzi.
Yeah, Todd Bertuzzi?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's... I don't put him up in that cloth, though.
He had a good playoffs, though.
He had a good playoffs.
I would have taken him back on the
great
Bruins.
playoffs.
Tom Wilson is another one. Tom Wilson.
Oh, my God, I hate that guy.
What? I'd back over him if I was
He would look
driving
good in
an
the Bruins
SUV.
uniform, I think.
I would. I'd hit him with a Zamboni if I
love
could
him
catch
here.
him.
Yeah, I would take him.
here.
Did you play against Claude Lemieux?
Oh, my God.
You just stick him.
I hated him with a passion.
Right.
Passion.
Was he and Ophi. You played against Ophi, too.
I got an Al Samuelson story, yeah.
I get enough story. My only major in the NHL was against Ulf Samuelson.
That's awesome.
After he hurt Cam.
Right.
After he took.
Oh, that's
Took his
right.
knee
I
out.
remember this.
Yes.
Yes.
After he hurt Cam. The next game we played against him, I took my stick and I literally two-went in.
I remember this.
Tomahawked him.
Yeah.
5-minute major.
That's
5
right.
minutes. Only game I ever get thrown out of. He went down like a ton of bricks. I'm telling you, it was worth it.
Yeah, it was.
We lost the game. They scored like 2 or 3 power play goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Lost the game. Mike Milbury came in. He goes, "John, best penalty ever."
That's awesome.
That's the best major story ever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mine's not as good.
You know what's funny is, what pissed me off about him is, like, back then, if you did something like that, you had to answer the bell.
Yes.
You were supposed to answer the
And
bell.
he would turtle.
And he wouldn't do it.
He would
He
turtle.
would not fight Neely, and when Neely fought him, he went down, and Neely, because who he is, he punched him a few times, but he could have absolutely drilled it, and he didn't, because, he's a true hockey player. Ophi, I fucking hated him.
I hated him all my years, 10 years of playing. I hated him more than any player because they'd cheap shot you.
Yeah.
And then you go to fight him
No
and
shit.
just go down like this.
Yeah,
I'm like, really?
yeah, I never liked him.
So he was coaching down in Charlotte. So I'm down there.
Ophi was?
Yes, he was coaching, head coach down in Charlotte, Checkers, American Hockey League. So there was a play. One of his players goes into the boards. He got tripped into the boards, right? So I have a minor trip, and his player's down. He's hurt. He calls me over. He never said a word, by the way, on the bench. Like, he never said 2 words. If he had something, he'd call you over, ask you a question, and then that was it. So he was pretty respectful in that case. So I go over, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a major there? Because my player's hurt for tripping." And there was my line, and I was gonna say something about Boston and majors. I was gonna say you should know something about major trips, and I didn't. I just froze, and I just was like, no, I got a minor, and I just skated away. I was like, my professionalism got the best of me. I was so pissed. Like I got in the locker room, and I told the guys afterwards. Like I got in the room, I go, I just pussed out. I go, I had my shot, I had my nearly come back, and I pussed out.
You were ready.
Yeah, man.
I remember you telling me that
I
story.
was so mad at myself.
I'm really not happy with you right now.
Right? I wish I was doing that game because I would have tortured him.
Oh, I was like,
I would have called 50 trips.
in front of me, and I whiffed.
Oh my God! You
I would have just
pussy.
kept it running. I know.
Well
the
said.
Celtic
Yes,
kid backs
I know.
down.
I backed down.
I know you.
Payback.
I
For
know,
Cam Neal,
I
it's
know.
payback, and you screwed it up. I don't know who you are anymore.
I know your dad can't be proud of that moment.
No. That's why I live in Weymouth now.
You still call him Dad?
Now the Charlotte Checkers. I got a story about them, and you know what? I'll share it because you're on. So they had a mascot called Chubby Checker.
Oh, yeah.
He was a bear, right? He was a bear, a goofy-looking bear, and he shared the locker room with us.
I'm
all right?
laughing at him already.
Right, you got to see this thing, right?
Always had beers with us after, too.
Yeah, well, not with me, because they put a curtain up that basically divided from corner to corner. And he's all like, so the first time I go to Charlotte, I go in the room, and there he is. And so I, like a complete asshole, I go over and I lean over the thing and I go, hey, man, I got to ask you a question. He goes, what's that? I go, you ever throw that suit on and bang your old lady? And he did not find that funny at all. And I said, come on, even just the head, I'd do that. Not having it at all.
Was it a woman?
No, it was a guy. No, it was a guy.
All right, just checking.
Because he wasn't in the suit yet. He wasn't in
okay.
the suit
All right.
yet. And so he never spoke to me. I go in and I always say, hey, Chubby. And he he'd just go down below the curtain. He hated me. And so that's, I don't know. I have issues, all right? And I was drinking back then. John Marks was the coach down there then.
Legend.
I remember John
Legend.
Marks, yeah.
Legend.
He liked me, thank God.
Yeah.
Chubby, not so much. So, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Let me ask you this: from a player's standpoint, and again, we're referees. What
I understand that.
pissed you off most that a referee did or didn't do?
Stewie pissed me off. Stewie, and we're friends, and we've done charity events. I just did an autograph signing with him down the South Shore probably a couple months ago. And I'm like, Stewie, I still really don't like how you treat me in the ice and shit, you know?
I think a lot of people have a Stewie story,
Oh,
right?
my God.
Of course, no one loves...
He thought all the fans, they were there to see him.
Yeah.
Not Mario Lemieux.
They weren't?
Yeah.
No.
Well, to his defense, he was the only guy to fight the big three at the Garden.
That is
Right.
pretty cool.
That's pretty
You got to give him
awesome.
that, right?
Yeah.
And I always, whenever I see him, he was at the Mark Bavis tournament last year,
Yeah.
and I go up to do the comedy, and he's sitting there, and I point him out. I'm like, yeah, former NHL ref,
yeah.
like me, and I said, no one loves Stu more than Stu.
Just ask him.
Just
Oh, my
ask him.
God, yeah.
But we had fun with him on episode 2. Matter of fact, this is episode 22, I think, right?
This is Stewie's number.
22.
Yeah.
Hey,
22.
look at that.
Yeah.
The universe figures out the
That's what I
details.
wore in the American League, too, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
by
right.
choice, they just gave it to me.
They gave it to you. But Bill Stewart was
Yes,
on
his
episode
brother.
21,
Yeah.
his brother.
Yeah.
And who's a legend in his own
Yeah.
right in Boston hockey as well.
Right.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, we want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you
Now,
very much. This was
This
awesome.
is-
It was
hold
an
on.
honor.
Thank you very much.
It was a
John,
pleasure.
Thank you.
now listen, this is cool. First of all, not only is John our first guest in a live podcast, which has been very cool, although I don't know if people talking is what you normally do at a live podcast. As a comedian, I want to fucking yell at people, but I don't know what to do because I've never
they're
done
eating.
a podcast.
They're eating.
I've never done a podcast with live people, and I don't know if it's messing up the mic or anything. And my comedian sense is like, shut the fuck up. But so not only is John our first guest on a live taping, but also this is the first podcast you've ever done.
First one ever. I was a virgin
Right.
till this one.
Right?
That was great until this.
I was invited and spitting chicklets. Whoa! Sorry about that. I couldn't make it.
Yeah,
But this is my first podcast.
So
We warmed you up.
he could have done spitting chicklets, but didn't. He did the zebras
I was waiting
instead.
for this. I was
Yes.
waiting for the zebras, boys.
That's right. That's right. And we did have Ryan Whitney on a few episodes ago. So
He wanted to try out podcasting before he went on.
yeah, there you go.
To the
Now
big
you're
time.
ready.
Yeah, the
Now
minors.
you're
Now
ready.
you go in the big leagues.
I'm good.
You're no longer a podcast virgin.
I'm a zebra forever, guys.
baby.
I'm a
Yes.
zebra forever.
Johnny, thank
Johnny,
you so
thank
much.
you very much.
John Carter, everyone. John Carter. That was awesome. Now, we're not done with the episode yet, so keep your table talk going, I guess. Want to point out a few people in the crowd. We already pointed out Gene Binder Sr., who was on episode 4, all right, of Chirping Zebras. One of our prior guests is here as well, Mr. Pat Shea, right over
Shea.
there, Pat Shea, who absolutely hilarious. Now, this crowd is kind of a little older than your target market, but just know, find him online if you know how to use Instagram and stuff, and absolutely hilarious. Matter of fact, Gino and I are appearing in his YouTube sitcom coming out in the summer. I play the coach, he plays the assistant coach, and Frankie Chirps, the official mascot at Chirping Zebras, is in that as well. So, want to thank Pat for coming. Appreciate it, Pat.
Thank you.
Now, we'd like to bring up, we have a few special guests here tonight, some of which are here to do the comedy show, and one in particular is here to do a little something before we start the comedy show. You might know him, and if you don't, you're living under a fucking rock. He sings the anthem for the Boston Bruins. Mr. Todd Angeli is here. Come on up, Todd. We want to get you on for a minute. Come on up.
Come on up.
Come on up, Todd Angeli.
Good. How are you?
Welcome to Chirping Zebras. Have a seat. We want to ask you a couple questions. We got you here, so we want to get some questions with you. Now, you have one of the coolest stories of how you became the anthem singer, and a lot of people might not know it. I'd love to hear it though. I know the story, but tell us how you became the anthem singer, and you followed a legend in Rene Rencourt. I mean, Rene Rencourt was a legend, and but how did it happen?
Well, first of all, they say you replaced. People say you replaced. There's no replacing Renee.
All right, all right.
So I say we started a new chapter.
Okay, all right, that's nice.
But no, that's just the respect I have for him. But
Yes.
no, it was kind of very innocent. I studied music when I was going to school. I actually had aspirations and dreams to be a professional opera singer. I was studying at the New England Conservatory. I was in the.
You'll hear
I
it in a
was,
second. Don't worry. He's gonna sing later. All right.
and,
You're getting chirped.
I know.
Are you
Yeah, I was
kidding
just
me?
gonna say. Yeah, no, I know. Knowing how you guys feel when you're up. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just that it just kind of happened. I was at the New England Conservatory in Boston. I was working at Fenway. This was back in '99, and I was singing in the kitchen. At the kitchen I worked at Fenway early in the morning, just kind of rehearsing or whatever. And a guy walked through, and it happened to be the guy who would schedule the anthem singers at Fenway. And he said, "You ever want to sing a game?" And I went studied at a small school up in New Hampshire, Plymouth State.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's kind of like 3,500 kids. So being in the Boston area was interesting. And so I said, "Yeah, sure." And it just kind of they knew I worked there, and they said, "Hey, we get lots of cancellations for anthem singers," which I can't understand that anybody having an opportunity to sing the anthem, why they would cancel. But anyways, so they said, if you keep something here since you're working here anyway. So I would actually sing quite a few games for the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I did not know that. I did
Yeah.
not know you sang at Fenway.
Yes, that was
is
where I
awesome.
first sang, and
Wow.
then it kind of just spread. I got other opportunities, and so then I was working at Fenway, I was going to school, and then I was working, back then it was the Fleet Center, so I'd go to the Fleet Center, I was a chef up in the suites kitchen, and someone said, you've been singing everywhere, why don't you try auditioning for be what they call a fill-in for the Bruins? I said, absolutely not, I'm not touching that ice at all. No, I mean, I would go in there and watch him and watch the way Renee just captured that crowd, and I said, I'm not even going to attempt that, and then I actually was talked into it. I would do kind of fill-ins, one game a season, and then all of a sudden it was the first year I think it's a great story. It's just it's a lot of fun just because of how it happened. It was the first year Vegas came in. Into the NHL, and it was a Thursday night, which is usually a pretty busy night. And by this time, I was bartending at the sports deck, which is right next to the Nesson booth. So we're hopping, and place is mayhem. And all of a sudden, I hear someone screaming my name above all the commotion, and I look over, and it's the woman who works down by the ice. She's got the headset on and everything, and she's surrounded by like 8 Boston cops. And she goes, Todd, she's screaming, and she goes, you have to sing. And I happen to look out because the club is within the bowl there, and I look at it, 6:45, and game's at 7. And I said, so now I'm going to have a conversation. I said, well, can you tell me what's going on? And next thing you know, one of the Boston cops just grabs me. You got to come with us. Incidentally, the general manager happens to be coming into the club and sees 8 Boston police officers pulling one of his bartenders out from behind. And it was like, the only thing I equated to is, like an Elvis show where they got like they had everybody up against the walls, and they hustled me, and they were like making me run. And I'm like, I don't run this fast. And I don't know what you want from me. I didn't do it, And they had the elevator held open. The women went down, and they wanted me to put something on. Some poor guy who didn't speak English had some Bruins jacket on. He was sweeping the floor or something. They ripped his jacket off of him. So he's like, hey, what's happening? So they put the jacket on, and I hear the voice of God, Jim Martin, one of the 26, says, and now to sing tonight's national anthem is Todd in. And I walked down the ice and sang the anthem, and I walked off after it was done, and I said, can someone, and by the time, I'm out of breath, I did probably the most running I had done in years, and and I said, can someone just tell me what happened? And they said, we had somebody here to fill in, but we just realized they weren't here when the Zambonis came off the ice, so we knew that you were up there, so thank you. They took the microphone, they took the jacket back off of me, the guy got his jacket back, and they said thank you. And I went back in the elevator, and I rode it upstairs all by myself, no escort. And I walked back, and just now I'm on my own. I fulfilled my obligation, I guess. And I walked back behind the bar, and I just went back, and I see this lady. I said, "Hey, what do you have tonight?" And she's like, "Didn't you just sing the national anthem?" I said, "Yeah." Apparently, the guy didn't show up. What do you want? I got and but
that's freaking awesome.
That's a true story, and
that's awesome.
And every so often, somebody will bump into me and something. I'll say, "Hey, I was in the bar that night when they came and ripped you out from behind." And it was. But these are the things I think that make stuff like this so unique and so memorable. And I like to think it only happens in New England and Boston.
Best
that's
sports
what makes
city in the country. Best sports city in the country.
And I grew up in Rhode Island, so it's just that whole region. But it was just. But still, when he announced his retirement, they had an audition, and I wasn't going to take anything for granted. I submitted an audition video and went through the process, and I didn't think I was going to get it. They had auditions on a Wednesday night in August.
And didn't they have people sing the anthem of like the finalists or whatever?
Yeah, they did
'Cause I remember
tryouts, right?
seeing
Yeah, I remember
so
tryouts,
you had to submit a video, and then they picked actually 52 people to audition live at the Garden, and they did it like in this fast, like rotating. They lined you up, and you went out on the floor and all that. But I didn't. Not that I wasn't taking it seriously or anything like that. I just didn't think I had the caliber or whatever to do it. I saw it as an opportunity. We have, I have 2 young children. At the time, my children were young, and I said to my wife, I said, hey, we never get a chance to go out, so let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll get a sitter. I'll go audition, but let's go over the North End and get some dinner. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. I'm thinking of veal palm. You know what I mean? And,
Veteran move.
But then I said, well, my last name begins with A, so I'm thinking they'll have to go in alphabetical order. 5:30, we'll be out of here by 6. A couple of martinis, some veal, right? And they said, we're going to go, we have 52 people here to sing. We're going to go in alphabetical order. And my wife starts hitting my leg like, yeah, she's all excited. And she said, by first name. Again, true story. And I love our national anthem. There's no better national anthem than our national anthem. But you hear it 51 times in a row, 51 different ways.
What number did you?
I actually went second to last.
Oh my God!
Wow. So by that time, there was all media there. You're walking off. They're like, yeah, we're good. We got all the material we need. So I just go through the motions, and then I get they had maybe I think there was like a dozen of us that rotated.
I remember seeing you when you were like real auditioning before a Bruins game.
Yeah.
And I said that why does this guy not already have the job? And I don't say that because
No, I
you're sitting on the
appreciate that.
stage here.
Yeah.
You like blew the place away. And I was like,
thank
how
you.
does this
Thank
guy
you.
not have the job?
Well, you know, there was a lot of great singers, and there's a lot of great voices out there. I think we all know that. I think it just came up to the combination of different things, and it just worked. It was the stars all aligned and all that. But it was really interesting. They kept it very secretive, and actually through the playoffs. So obviously that was maybe no, I'm not sure if everybody remembers. So that's the year the last time they went to the finals.
Yes, that's right.
And I didn't know I was ever singing. They only let me know 2 games at a time. So I knew I was singing game 1 and 2 against Toronto in the first round. That's it.
It's a 2-game contract.
And then they lost one of the games there, so they knew they were coming back. So as soon as they knew they would come back, they said, "You're going to sing game 5." Okay. Now you're going to sing game 7.
Which was
so now I'm
awesome.
singing game 7, and I'm like, I'm just trying to keep it all together.
Wow.
And then I don't know anything about the next round till like 2 days before game 1 of the second round. And they would just let me know as it went along. And then I didn't find out about game 7 against St. Louis till like the Friday before, because I think it was a Tuesday night or a Wednesday. It was like a weeknight.
Wow.
And so it's just, they kept it very, and then they didn't let me know I was quote unquote official till the following like August, September. Not even. I think it was September. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So
Now, I got to ask you, because
Sure.
you tried out with 52 other people. I one time tried out for Last Comic Standing. This was years ago. Stayed in line for like 4 hours outside the Comedy Connection. And finally got in front of the 2 producers. And I was like, we all got like 3 minutes. I'm not even 30 seconds into my first bit. And the guy goes, "Okay, thanks for coming." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And that was what I said. And he goes, "Yeah, we're all set." I said, "I waited for 4 hours and you're not even let me finish a bit?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're all set." And I finished it and told him to fuck off, and then I left. Didn't get picked.
If I have to be here, you have to be here.
But was there anyone that was like started and they were like, "Oh, say thank you very much, you're good"?
no. Everybody went through. No. It was all different types. There was like older people than me. There was a little girl. It was all different.
Really?
Every different. There was actually twins, a female. There were identical twins that sang it together, and so they
sang
definitely
it as a duet?
As a duet.
They weren't conjoined, were they? You know that one? You know the conjoined twins, right? They actually got married. Well, one of them did. The other one, not, by force, but yeah. Like if you're single and the conjoined twins find a husband, you're a fucking loser. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry. That just popped in my head.
Please.
They're conjoined and they share everything but a head. There's 2. You know what I'm talking about? This isn't a fantasy of mine or anything.
No. My
That
wife
came
said
out wrong.
Mark definitely has a bit on this, and she wasn't wrong.
No, I don't. What's that? A weird version of a threesome. That's right. I mean, if the one that didn't get married doesn't like the husband, I mean, she's literally fucked. You know what I mean? Anyway, you said
I'm gonna
twins.
go sit down over there now.
That's where my mind went.
This podcast goes off the rails. We're live, baby.
Listen, my poker group is here. They understand this shit, all right? Because every Wednesday night I say shit like that. So, anyway, I'm sorry. So there were twins.
No, so it
You're
was.
telling this innocent
Hey,
story.
you're right. No,
And I
trying to
fuck
keep
up.
it kid friendly, I guess.
Yeah, no.
That
Your
really
kids
didn't
can't
work
watch
out the
this.
way.
You offended the gnome.
No, the gnome don't give a shit.
That's my gnome.
That's right. So
That's right. I met this young lady, yeah.
Before you go, tell the story, because I want her to present this to you.
Yeah, no, she.
Because she showed it to everyone.
Yeah,
So cool.
And I won't make this. This is where my wife would be. See, she's not here tonight. That's why I'm talking a lot. Because she'd be in the back going, "Land the plane. Stop talking. No more." But see, this is kind of representative of what this has become for me, and I just feel I have to say this. This has been. I don't work in the club anymore. I don't work at Fenway anymore because it's given me, being the anthem singer, has given me such wonderful opportunities to not only do fun stuff like this, but things out in the community, the kids going to schools, hospitals. Unfortunately, it's funny. We have like a Twitter group of all the anthem singers in the NHL, and we all talk to each other. And they are the other anthem singers, even Jim Corneliuson, who I think is the best in the NHL. He's the Chicago anthem singer.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
just the best.
Yeah.
Even he has said, we just can't believe what you do, and we see all these posts and all these things. And where else in the country does the anthem singer get stopped on the street?
Boston, baby.
You know what I mean? And that's
Good
like
point.
the passion that we have. I remember being up at Travis Roy's last year, the
Yes.
wiffle ball tournament, and I was in some like Richdale or something in Jericho, Vermont. I stopped off to get a Gatorade, and some guy comes up. He's like, "You're the anthem singer of the Boston." I'm like, "Yeah." But that's been so much. It's just been so much fun to be able to go out and do stuff and be a part of things, and I'm the luckiest person on the earth.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Good
That
for
is
you.
awesome. I just had a brilliant idea. And it has nothing to do with
Oh, boy.
twins. I think we should take the 32 anthem singers and make like a March Madness bracket and have you guys duel it out.
That actually popped in my head as you was talking.
Right?
That's weird. You said
Well, see that's and here we actually were talking. We've talked over the years. Like we've actually talked about maybe doing like a compilation. Well, they don't sell CDs anymore, but we were thinking about because we have a lot of different styles. There's
yeah, yeah.
jazz
Incredible,
singers.
yeah.
There's this, there's that. And actually, the Martina, who was the anthem singer for Toronto, she was great. She is great. She left to pursue a recording career.
Oh, wow.
But we've talked on and off the different anthem singers about doing like a joint like collaborative album or something,
Yeah.
and put it towards a fundraiser,
that's
fundraiser
awesome.
foundation
That'd be
or something
cool.
like that. Just because everybody likes their anthem singer. You know what I mean?
Well, I like the bracket idea because I'm a degenerate gambler.
No, that's
So,
I don't know how we.
I'd get action on that, and you'd be my bet. I'd take all my money on you. So,
Yeah.
of course,
But-
because I'm a gambler, I don't have much money to put on you, but that's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, so I met. We met. I honestly can't remember. That, and we were talking about it, and you were showing me pictures of them, and of course I had to open my big mouth and said, I'd love to have one. And she goes, well, I can make one of you. And I said,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And it looks way better than I do. So
Yeah, it's an anthem singer gnome.
That is awesome.
And
Right?
again, what other anthem singer in
That's a
the
gnome.
country,
Come on up,
right?
bring it
Yeah,
up.
gets this kind of.
Let's bring it up here and give him the gnome. We showed it to everyone because it's fascinating. I happen to mention it. Look at
Yeah.
that thing.
with the black suit and the
Got the
tie,
suit, the
microphone. Thank you so much. Look at
Outstanding.
that, huh?
Look at
That
that.
is great.
And I don't
love
even
the
know what
beard.
to say. It's just
And what
attention to
is the
detail
name
is
of your
awesome.
gnome company?
I call it Earthy Crunchy Original.
What is it?
Earthy Crunchy Original.
Earthy Crunchy Original. Gnome design. Look at that. So if you ever need a gnome, there's where you go.
Very good.
You never know. They run out of them at Marshalls all the time. All right? I told a story about gnomes. I'm not going to repeat it because it'll
That's
horrify you. But put that right in your front lawn and let me know who knocks on your door. Todd Angeli, everyone. Todd Angeli.
Thank you.
Todd Angeli. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We'll see. You'll see him again. You will see him again. So don't worry. He'll be back up. We got another special guest. So when Chris Flahive, who runs Wicked Funny Comedy Club North Andover, and let's give Chris a round of applause. He's awesome. This club is awesome. My favorite club. All right. When he approached me and he said, "Hey, do you want to do a live podcast and we'll follow it with a comedy show?" I was like, "Absolutely." I
Yes.
called you. I didn't even finish asking you when you said yes.
Yes.
And so we picked out the date, and then it was my job to find the comedians that I wanted to work with. And the first two people I called, thank God they were available because they're two of my favorite people. And the first one is a founding member. We have a poker group back in the pandemic, March of 2020. A bunch of comedians and a couple of civilians, Lou and Kevin, the civilians, non-comedians. We got together and we started this poker group on PokerStars.com. I was going to tell this story last week and we didn't get to it. So we start this poker group and we are on Zoom and we play online with PokerStars.net, okay? And we called it the Kansas City Nut League, all right? And there's a story behind that. Our friend Jimmy Dunn would always start off with, "Are you any of you Kansas City?" I won't say it because YouTube will shut us down. It's a line from Blazing Saddles. Want to play some poker? And the winner, we keep track of the points, and whoever won got a bag of nuts from nuts.com. All right, I know, absolutely stupid, but that's how we did. And then a friend of ours, PJ Thibodeau from Rhode Island, joins the group, and he's a massive degenerate gambler, and he says, "Why don't we play Knockout?" So where if I knock you out, you pay me $5. All right. So we call it pow pow. All right. And if you knock someone out, the what you say to them is pow pow motherfucker. All right. That's what we say. And there's a funny story with that, but we'll tell that after. So this guy is one of the founding fathers, and he's one of my favorite people, not only in comedy, but in life. One of my best friends, and one of the most talented people around. And you might have seen him in all kinds of movies. The Town. He's been in something. He was in Seinfeld, and he was actually in the movie that won an Academy Award, Coda. Yeah. My good friend Tony V. Give it up for Tony V, everyone. Tony V.
Good to be here. Thank you, man.
Tony V. In the house. So
yeah, I think you guys should change the name of this podcast to Interrupting Dinner.
just tonight?
Yeah, because
Just
there was a shitload of people not paying attention.
Am I right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just
No,
me.
no, I was right next to them.
All right.
They didn't give a shit what you were talking about.
Well, what they
And
don't.
I'll tell you another thing. My Zamboni better be where I left it. Or I'm gonna need answers.
Now, what's funny is they don't realize I'm doing comedy, and when I do comedy and people talk,
Oh,
it
you
can
shut
get
it
ugly,
right up, yeah.
Right? It gets ugly.
Yeah.
So hopefully that won't
You know-
be the case.
Oddly, I have a conjoined twin joke that I can tell you.
The universe works itself
Right,
out,
I know
doesn't
you-
it?
I don't. Do you know this joke?
No.
It's a great joke.
Oh, you know what?
There's a-
I think I do.
Yeah, there's
but I want to hear
all
it.
right. This guy at a bar, and he sees conjoined twins, and they're gorgeous. He can't get over it. So he strikes up a conversation with them. It takes a lot of courage, and they hit it off real well. So he invites them back to his place, and, they have a couple of drinks, and one thing leads to another, and they're having sex, as these things go.
Yes.
So he's having sex with one of them, and while he is, the other one is playing the violin, right? And then she's singing opera, and then she starts twirling a baton, just to kill time while he's having sex with the other one. So he finishes up, right? And he starts to have sex with the other one. While he's doing that, the other one starts playing the accordion. Then she starts juggling. She's waving a flag over her head, singing the national anthem. They have a great night. He sends them on their merry way the next morning, and everything's going fine. A couple weeks later, the conjoined twins are walking through the neighborhood, and one of them says, "Oh, that's where that guy we met last week lives. We should go over and say hi." And the other one goes, "You think he'll remember us?"
You told that on the poker group one night.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite jokes.
I'm just glad you didn't put my name in there.
No, I didn't. I could have, of course, but I didn't.
So, now, why I gave you such an intro?
It was long. I stood up.
I know you
twice.
stood up and then you sat down.
Then I sat
saw
down.
That. I was going to try to do it again,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
You might not make it up
And
yet.
my knees are gone because I was a goalie. So
that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
But now, when I bring you up for the comedy show,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, fucking this guy.
This guy, yeah.
The conjoined
'Cause
twin
they know,
guy. Right?
Yeah, they know.
So you were part of the Boston Comedy All-Star team.
Yes.
That we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So we played the Bruins alumni twice. Once in Exeter, once in Stoneham.
Yep.
Josh Dolan's dad, who's here, was the referee in Stoneham.
Wore a
That's
white
right.
helmet.
And with a white that's the first thing
Yeah.
Gino said. Why is he wearing a white helmet when he saw the video? Because that game, I kicked Josh's ass in a fight. But we won't talk about that in front of his dad. You
Or his mom.
were the goalie.
I was the goalie. Yeah.
You played goalie.
And I was about 100 pounds heavier than I am right now, which is why I was the goalie, because there wasn't a lot of goal left when I was in it.
You were like the
Goldberg.
walrus.
Yeah. There was like fucking
walrus.
Right. There was
Ridiculous.
there's like an inch of net on either side of me, so it was hard to squeeze it in.
I think you pitched
But I
a
played.
shutout.
I did.
They didn't score on you.
No, they didn't score
Not
on me.
one of
no.
them.
Nope. They could have. I think they chose not to.
They hit you in the pads.
Yeah,
few times.
a lot of times.
And those pads, they were real leather.
Oh yeah.
They were
I had,
brown leather.
Well, I started playing back in the 70s, so I had my original equipment. And everything was leather and
No padding.
No padding at all.
At all.
No, I played for Matanon back in the day, and my first year and a half, I didn't wear a mask. They didn't make us wear a mask. No.
So you were did you wear a helmet or nothing?
No, nothing.
Nothing?
No, nothing.
Like-
no, because I'm a fucking idiot. I mean, nobody
Well,
told
other
me.
people were
Nobody
doing it.
told me I couldn't. You know what I mean? They didn't say you don't wear a helmet. I just said I'm not going to wear a helmet. And they went, all right. Yeah.
Did you take any in the face?
Oh, of course I did. Several. How do you think I ended up doing this? Yeah,
What?
I
Hey,
just
hey.
made that joke. Yeah.
Now, at one, you did put on a helmet though at some
I
point.
did it. Yeah, yeah. Eventually, somebody stepped in the state or whatever,
The state.
and they
This
went.
guy needs a helmet.
Someone's
guy
getting
needs,
sued.
This guy needs therapy and a helmet. Is what they said. And that was I played hockey. I played goalie club and in college as well. I didn't go past that, and then we do pickup games. But hockey got me thrown out of my high school because at the time we were in the state finals. I got brought up as a sophomore to play for Matanon, which is a pretty prestigious
Yes.
hockey program back in the
Yes.
day.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and played for Marty Pierce and
Marty Pierce,
yeah. Very prestigious. And so they brought me up to play varsity. We went to the States that year, and we lost in the finals. I was tending goal, and the next week, my French teacher, Sister Etienne, made me stand up in class, and I thought she was going to congratulate us. Did you have Sister Etienne?
It's Sister Mary Elephant.
No, because she was a douchebag. And that's really what I had another word for her. I cleaned it up for you people.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
I know
you
that
know,
other
you
word.
know,
It's one
you
of
know
my
the word
favorite
I
words.
wanted to use.
We're
yeah.
not getting kicked off YouTube
Yeah,
yet.
no, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Is douchebag okay?
Douchebag's
Because I'll
fine.
stand by that.
Douchebag is fine.
But she made me stand up in class, and I thought she was going to congratulate us for making it to the finals. And she says literally this words. She goes, the reason we lost the state finals was because Tony's not doing well in French, and God was not on our side.
You're shitting me.
No.
That
in front of
Catholic
the-
guilt.
Yes, in front of the whole
Yes.
class. And my exact words to her were, "Sister, you are fucked in the head." And I will walk myself to the office. And I went to the office and I went, "See you later." And then I left Matanon and played at Somerville High for 2 years.
You know, in all the years I've never heard
You
that
never
story.
heard that story?
I've never heard that
100%
story.
true. 100% true. Sister
Sister
Etienne.
Etienne.
And she's dead, so I win this one.
These are jokes.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I ain't much, but I'm breathing.
No nuns were injured telling that
No.
story, all right?
No, they've already been injured, and I didn't do it.
Well, what's funny is she taught French, and obviously she was French. 'cause
Yeah,
Sister
Etienne.
And they're known to surrender.
That's pretty good.
Not bad, huh?
And that was
It pissed off some
followed,
French
right?
people, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
but
over there.
who gives a shit? It's
Lot of
not like they're
people.
going to attack.
Lot of people come down from Montreal for the food here.
But that poutine's pretty good up
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh. I love that poutine. Poutine that's the French delicacy. Poutine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
I never knew what it was.
it's French. It's French fries with gravy and cheese curd.
Yeah, I never knew
Yeah.
what cheese curd was.
Yeah, it's
it
the-
sounds nasty.
It's great at 2 in the morning up there.
Yeah, cheese curd is like the shit that's left over when they make cheese. Then there's a little balls of
I
stuff.
was right.
Yeah,
He's
you're
not
pretty right.
wrong, yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
nasty.
That is, cheese curd, gravy, and why not just open up an aorta and stick some butter down there? Grab a stick of butter. There you go. Here's your poutine.
As we know,
Yeah.
one of our idols, Don Gavin,
Yeah, yeah.
always said, no one ever said, hey, I feel like Canadian tonight to go out to eat, right?
Right.
No one. No one.
Yeah, French, no. Canadian.
No.
Italian, no. Canadian.
And I'll say it now. I won't wait till the show. I'm not a fan of Canada. All right, because that's basically why I got fired from the NHL in a week. I lasted a week because I'm American, so I hate Canada.
Yeah.
All right, and let's face it. Outside of hockey, they've offered nothing to the world. All right, and
Lacrosse.
seriously, someone said no. You know what's funny, Gino? I had a woman after a show one time come up to me and said, Canada gave us lacrosse. Lacrosse was invented in Canada. And I was like, oh, yeah? You ever meet a high school boy who plays lacrosse that you like?
No.
I haven't. And if you have a boy in high school who plays lacrosse, PSA, he's growing up to be a douche.
Yeah. What about the ginger ale?
The ginger ale?
Yeah.
That's all right, but they're bacon. It's ham.
No, that's ham. Yeah, that's definitely
It's
right.
ham.
Absolutely.
So
The beer's
but,
good.
What?
The Canadian beer's good.
The beer's good. Yeah, and Shania Twain,
All right.
All right, back
there's
in the
a couple
day.
Of good things.
Right?
Sure.
maybe that's the conjoined twins from Canada. Are they Canadian? That's what I said. The only thing good out of
This
it.
guy's
You might
about-
want to pay the fuck attention
These
for
guys
the
are
rest
about
of the night.
3 jokes behind us.
He's
It's all right.
he's on a delay.
Yeah.
We swear here. It's okay. No, and you've been paying attention. You weren't one of the ones talking.
Yeah.
Okay, thumbs
All right.
up. All right, good.
All right.
Well, we're going to see
All right.
you
In a little bit.
in a little bit
Yes.
when we do the
Yeah.
comedy
Very
show.
good.
Tony V, everyone, he'll be back to sling some more jokes. All right. Left me hanging. All right. We have one more special guest.
Oh, boy.
And he was, and I believe he's here. I hope he's here. Oh, yeah, he's here. My second call, so Tony V was my first call to see if he was available for tonight's show. And my second call was to this guy who, I could watch him 100 times and I laugh 100 times. We've worked together over the years so many times. He's written books. He's been on Late Night with David Letterman. He's been on Conan O'Brien. And he's going to be here for you tonight. And he's one of my favorite people and one of my favorite comedians, Mr. Paul Nardizzi, everyone. Paul Nardizzi.
All right.
Paul Nardizzi. All right. Welcome to Chirping Zebras.
I'm the guest that's holding up the start of the comedy show.
Yeah, no, that's okay. It starts when I say it starts, so it's all right. We just got to end at a certain time because, the Chinese need to get home.
Can I just say that I noticed John Carter was great, wasn't he? John Carter?
John Carter was awesome.
And you guys talked the whole time, but then Todd came up, the singer, and you listened. So for the record, I've sang the anthem at the Garden, and I also make fucking gnomes, okay? So pay attention. Those two things seem to capture this
Those
audience.
things do capture the audience. A Boston Bruin and seven-player award winner, they rather choke on their egg rolls.
Yeah.
So, which are fantastic, by the way. And don't worry, I'm friends with the owner. He usually doesn't listen. So,
Oh, we can be racist. Awesome.
we can do whatever the fuck we want. Last time I was here, there was a reek in the searing. So, it's a true story, people. Calm down. Now, you're not a hockey guy.
No, I'm
But, I mean, you're a fan of
sandwiched by two hockey guys. I'm a soccer guy, so your game's obviously played on ice, and my game's played by illegal Mexicans who are being chased by ice. So it's a little different. But
So you also like embellishment.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I don't think anyone got that one. That was a fucking brilliant joke.
That was good.
no, they heard it.
brilliant joke.
They heard it. They're just not sure whether they should laugh at it.
I just said reek in the searing.
Okay.
I yelled that a little too loud. Brilliant. And I stepped on your line
Oh, all good.
about liking embellishment.
Yes.
Soccer. Now, soccer, have you refereed games in soccer?
Once.
Once.
And I was coaching, and the ref didn't show up, so both teams decided I would ref half the game, and then the other guy would ref the other half. And it was my worst experience on a field ever. Like, of all the games I've played that I played poorly, or games where I maybe got in a fight or got hurt. This was the 35 most humiliating. It's so hard. I respect people who ref. It's so fucking hard. Because I know the game, but when you're out there on top of it, suddenly you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, it speeds up.
You know you're doing bad when both teams are yelling at you. So both teams are yelling at me, and people from other fields are coming over to tell me how much I suck. It was a fucking disaster. I walked off and I said to my wife, I will never ref, and I will never tell the kids to ref. It's fucking terrible.
No, even
That's
your own
not a
team.
good endorsement.
No, I
My
know.
own kids.
Your own kids that you coach were yelling.
I
and
hear
telling
like,
you.
come on, Dad. What the fuck? Kid just grabbed me. You see it, and you're ready to call it, and then it's too late.
Yeah,
It's
something
already
else
happened, and something else has happened.
Yes.
And you can't call that because you didn't call the first fucking thing. So
next thing you know, it's just bedlam.
I used to really ride the refs. After that, I never rode the refs, and I would tell other people,
Try it, people.
Leave the
Try
ref
it."
alone. This is a fucking hard job. I literally say that now when I play.
Yeah?
This is a fucking hard job. Leave him alone. You know.
Soccer.
But you would get paid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do get
you were
paid.
getting paid. I was doing it for free, but yeah.
Gino, we try to recruit referees into hockey. So don't referee soccer, referee hockey. Soccer, I don't even know if it's a real sport anyway. So I'm kidding. I've said that to you before, and yeah, I'm kidding. All right, it's a real
I
sport.
thought he was going to get dumped off the stage.
Jesus Christ, you guys are starting to take this shit way too seriously.
They're still trying to figure out the ice joke from 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They're
We
Googling it.
know where the bar is set.
Yeah, they're
with this
Googling
audience.
Mexicans ice. What's going?
There a Zamboni on that field? Now, you're obviously a Bruins fan and a hockey fan. What's your greatest hockey memory or Bruins memory or any memory? Because your kids, none of them played hockey.
No, they started out.
They started out.
Yeah.
And then you realized it's expensive.
One was actually decent, but they just sort of went soccer eventually.
Okay.
But
So what's
Yeah.
your greatest memory, hockey memory?
I relived it the other night when the Uruguayans went up in the crowd to fight the police. I was in fucking Millbury. I was at Millbury. I was
Beat a
like,
guy with a shoe.
yeah, I was like, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to hit the guy with a fucking shoe. That was the greatest. My
Yeah,
greatest
you-
night was watching that. That was
Madison Square Garden, yeah. That was insane.
Yeah.
Mike Milbury hit the guy with the shoe,
yeah.
right? Everyone's got to remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't remember that, then fucking leave now, all right? Because
Or YouTube it.
you're not a hockey fan. Yeah, that was a great night.
Yeah.
That was a great night. Now, did you play any hockey?
Just
At all?
pond hockey.
Pond hockey?
Yeah, I
All
learned
right.
to skate like Joey Mullen did on rollerblades, and then transitioned to the ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's and we should have had you though as the coach of that Boston Comedy All-Star team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious.
All right.
I'm not making up for the soccer joke. I'm serious because it would have been fun to have you on the bench.
I know a little strategy. I mean, I played indoor soccer. It's similar with boards and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Indoor soccer.
Yeah.
That's
dangerous.
yeah. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I never could play soccer. I mean, I could run and kick a ball, but
Like you
it's
say,
kinda like,
soccer's a pussy sport. Fine.
no,
but-
I never said
No,
that.
But people say that. That's fine. But if you watch,
I
if
might
you
have
watch,
intimated it.
if you watch indoor soccer, you're getting hit in the boards with a helmet. There's no helmets. People check into the boards. I mean, it's
There's no out of
legit.
bounds. Yeah.
dangerous.
Well, they say that a lot of concussions happen in soccer
Yeah.
because they go up to head the ball and they head each other by accident.
Yeah.
My
Right?
wife, my wife broke her neck indoor soccer. She was going to jump over the boards. As she was going to jump over, she jumped over where the door was, and somebody opened the door, and then boom, she went right down, helicoptered right to the thing, and yeah, she's fine now. But
She's
yeah.
fine now, so that's fucking
yeah, but
hilarious.
it's like,
All
you know,
right.
Indoor soccer story. Love you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she's not here tonight, so you told that story.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be on YouTube.
She should have been here tonight to tell it.
Yeah, she should have. That would have been
I'm
cool.
going to find a babysitter. No,
Was it a one-time thing? Or
she's a
just
tennis
fun?
player. Yeah,
Okay.
it was just indoor high school shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
I never did the soccer. So,
I know. You've
right.
let me know that many times.
well, we do have to get the comedy show going at some point. So, but I can't wait for you to bring you back up here, and maybe you can retell the ice joke, and maybe they'll
Yeah.
40% of the audience will get it as opposed to 5. They're turning on me already. Paul Nardizzi, everyone. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Again, I'm not gonna let. No one shakes hands anymore, apparently.
I'll tell you, Bill Stewart was the best walk-off at the end. That was incredible.
If you
the
haven't-
opening and the ending of that was phenomenal.
He jumped
That
right
was
into
awesome.
the opening and at the end. If you haven't watched episode 21, which you should, and when you do, like and subscribe on YouTube, Bill Stewart's exit is epic. Absolutely epic. Most times people are like, and then we end it and it's all good. He just got up and fucking left.
Like he's in the middle of the ending, and like he just got up. Oh, that was
It was
it for me.
just absolutely awesome. Well, I think
This
for
was great.
first live podcast, live
good.
taping, what do you think? I think
You
it
guys
went
think?
pretty well. Yeah?
All right. They could have booed us.
And I think we will do this again.
Awesome.
I think we will. Now, so that's going to wrap it up. Episode 22, the first live podcast taping of Chirping Zebras history. And we have a long history, 21 other episodes. And so we want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease, and Gene Binder Sr., who donated all this merchandise that we're trying to sell.
I didn't donate.
We used his credit card. But we do want to thank the Referee's Crease. We want to thank AOA Studios from Beverly. If you do have anything to tape, a podcast or an album, or just want to go in and do some voiceover work, they'll do it. And they have an amazing studio in Beverly, so you got to check them out.
And they travel.
And they travel. Yes, they travel. And also want to thank Chris Flayhive and Wicked Funny Comedy Club here in
thank
North
you.
Andover at the China Blossom. Want to thank the China Blossom for hosting this. And we want to thank you guys for all coming out and being a part of the first ever live taping of Chirping Zebras. We have hoodies, t-shirts, trucker hats, knit hats, quarter zips, all for sale. And all the money goes to Gino's Kids College Fund. And, no, I'm kidding.
They're getting scholarships.
I'm actually not. Yeah, every kid is.
If not, they're not going to college.
Every kid getting college. But we got a deal tonight.
Yes, we do.
You buy 2 items, you get $10 off. You buy 3 items, you get $15 off. Not bad.
Hat, T-shirt, sweatshirt.
It's right there. Pat Shea wears his all the time. He got him for coming on. And if you don't follow Pat Shea, find him online and find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok.
The TikTok.
And we've been the TikTok live, I think, most of tonight, or maybe some of tonight, or maybe none of tonight. All right, well, fuck it. And like and subscribe on YouTube, and we want to thank you, and we'll see you next time right here on Chirping Zebras.
Thank you.